This time the Yokomo / associated YZ-10. And it's good. Straight away you've got something that looks like a car. That sits nicely in there. Now we just need to center that pin. Morning everyone, Tony from Hearns here with another build. This time the Yokomo / associated YZ-10. This is basically an Americanized version of the YZ-870C Super Doggy. It's identical in pretty much every way apart from the body shell. But obviously Associated wanted to be able to sell this as their own car, so they just tweaked things a little bit. You'll notice it's got Team Associated on the box, but it's still also got Yokomo, and everything inside is basically exactly the same as the YZ-870C, but we're going to build one anyway. So Brett did one quite some time ago when we first got the Super Doggies in. Now I'm going to build this one. We'll see what it's like and we'll see how much of a mess I can make of it. Let's get this happening. Shouldn't be too difficult. Oh, look at that. I like it when straight away you get to put something under the chassis. Let's make this happen. Ooh, the instructions are flaring a little bit in the light. Bag one. This is very much all new to me. Back in the day I didn't have a lot to do with the Yokomo cars. I was a Kyosho man, and that's what I used to play with. I never even really looked at one of these. So this is all new to me. Brett and I did an unboxing on this car just an hour or so ago, and I saw things that I didn't, oh, I never know they had that. So it's going to be a journey of discovery for me as well. Where do I put all, Brett and I noted that there's been some subtle improvements on this from the original kit. Basically things just to make it more durable, because it's pretty obvious that everyone now is going to put higher power motors in the cars, and the original car wouldn't have lasted too long with a brushless setup. Okay, let's get this underway. And no, I haven't actually looked at the kit beforehand. I've just picked everything up and I'm just starting from scratch the same way you would. Where are we? 9 steps. Isn't it good after so many years of working on these cars, I know instinctively which hex to get. You just know what size they're going to be. We've got, there's actually 2 parts. These go in gearbox case. Just check to make sure I've got the right one. Are these the same? No, they are not. The difference is, just pull this down a bit, the difference is here. It's a long one here, the other one is short. I'm glad I found that now rather than later. And we want M3x6 and M3x8. They are the 8s. And this is the 6. So the gearbox casing itself uses the M3x8. Just going to put one in for now. Now, little bit of thread lock because this is a metal joint. Oh, not a lot left in this kit, in this bottle. It'll be alright. You don't need to wrench on these incredibly hard. Just tight enough is all you need. Let the thread lock do the work of holding it in. And as usual, straight away in the build, I've got my hands covered in crap. Just wipe that off. And another. It's strange holding these metal casings. They're really, really heavy. I think the first thing you'd do if you could, I'm not sure whether they were ever available, is to replace these with a moulded plastic one, because these are just so heavy. 2, 3, 4, and I love the tiny little Yokomo moulded in there. Well, sorry, cast in. Just so you know what it, even though it's branded associated, everyone knows where it came from.
Look at this guy.
I detect the presence.
Oh,
that's the wrong. That's the wrong. No, it's the right hole. It's just it's the wrong one.
Oh, see how I distracted you straight up. Are you Loctiting all the chassis bolts in?
I am. Because it's a metal joint. Therefore,
that is definitely a metal joint. That's also the wrong.
That's
one.
also the wrong one.
Jeez. How's the build going apart from the wrong screws?
Well, we've only put 4 screws in, so.
Want me to null it for you?
No. Oh, well, these are all. These are supposed to be the 6mm ones, and these are 8, 8, 8.
Here you go. 10s. I'll put the 10s here.
I'm just going to put this sucker in. That's better.
Here you go.
We're all good.
There's some 8s.
I was just expounding on how heavy the metal bits are. Were there nylon bits that were available for these? I don't know.
I don't think there ever was back in the day. It was considered quite well, they were magnesium. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's what that's what I said to you earlier.
Really soft and worse.
Yeah.
So there's 8 and 10mm button, one of each.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. So you got 3 sizes of screws.
Yes.
And isn't it nice that the screws are in each bag?
Yes. As opposed to what Yokomo do nowadays.
And their competition kits.
Yeah, which I got used to towards the end.
That's not countersunk, that's a button head.
Yes, it is.
No.
It sure is.
Alright. I'm not...
Oh, you mean the actual bit in the chassis is? Yeah. That's weird. Why is one...
Because they have a little deflector over the undercow for that. I don't know why either. I think it's just so they could recreate the essence.
Yeah. There you go.
So it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yeah, already.
It's not just a practical build.
No. And I need simple.
You need simple.
I need simple.
Well, it should come together really nice being a Yokomo.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Is it a Yokomo kit?
I don't care that Associated have tried to take it.
Yeah.
Over. It's a Yokomo. You know it. I know it.
Yep. We do.
Build. Well, you enjoy. I'll get out of your hair. And you stop putting things in the wrong hole, you.
No, that wasn't the correct hole. The hole was correct. The hardware was not. God, bloody hard to build anything here. Too many idiots. Isn't that right, BJ? Huh? Good. You just keep to yourself, all right? Ah, good. I can hear Brett annoying customers. Yeah.
Yeah, no worries at all. Thank you for your call today, sir.
There we go. Got those suckers in. And now the front gearbox, M3 by 8 countersunk. Now I've only got 2 in here. I wonder why. How about I move it across here so you can see what I'm doing. And right there. These are a lot simpler than the cars nowadays. It reminds me of what it used to be like building kits. Even though it was a novel to me then, it takes me back 30, 40 years because I've been doing it that long. And it's good. Straight away you've got something that looks like a car. Front and rear gearbox mounts, motor mount, that's all good. Very noisy here today. This is the weird thing that I'd never seen before. This is a little centre spine that goes down the middle of the car. I'd never seen this before. Very much news to me. So we'll put the deck supports on now, which are these little buggers here. They go on first. You need to make sure these are M3 by 10s, they go in there. And 3 by 10. And another one. Just screw these in loosely initially. And then tighten them up. And then another couple. On this front mount. Oh, I missed that. Do that up and another one. Turn it over so you can see what I'm doing. These go in easily. Nice, and then a little final turn to get it right. Just check these ones. Yeah, they're okay. Here's the brace. You need to make sure you've got it correct. This goes to the rear, that bit goes to the front. And this is there, we push that in. This isn't so much a stiffener for the chassis as it is a bit of a belt guide, so it stops the belt going off because it has no real structural integrity as such.
The original one used to be an L bracket, carbon.
Carbon L bracket?
Yeah, so this one's pretty much more of a aesthetic thing.
Okay. We'll put that in there. It's there to remind us of the old one.
Yeah, that's right. Give that look.
And we've got BJ over there butting in with information that I don't know about, because he used to sell these back in the day. Basic chassis done. That's good. I've only been doing, where are we? 15 minutes in and I've done the basic chassis. Geez, I could almost call it a day. Nope. We'll put that aside for now. Going to go on to the slipper. This was definitely not a feature of the original one, but been included in this kit to allow for the fact that we're all going to put brushless motors in these things, and the original configuration would not have stayed together. So they've upgraded this. Obviously some people, oh, it's not the same as the original, but it's still a good move on Associated / Yokomo's part to do this. It means your car will stay together a bit longer. So here we go. Look at that. There's lots of bits to put together. The chances of me getting this correct are minimal. We'll see what I do. So the very first pin goes in there. These look to be Delrin, which is good. That means they should last. That's the pulley cap goes in. Flanged bearing. Ooh, I will admit this is going together very nicely, as I suppose it should. The pulley cap, now the slipper plate. Now I'm not sure which is which. There is a difference. This is slipper plate A, this is slipper plate B. We just need to get the right one. This is it. Yeah, just got to get turned around so it's in the, there we go. It's very hard to see, but there are flats on either side here which I need to line up with that, but it's a very tight fit. There we go. Ooh. So note that it doesn't say anything here, but you do need to make sure that you line the flats on the slipper blade up with the flats on the shaft itself. So we'll put this side goes like that. Same again on the spur gear. Turn. This was never a fun job, lining up slipper plates and the pads. That one's in. Now this one. Again, turn this around to make sure it's. There's a lot of bits there. It only took me a few minutes to put it together. I should just rest on my laurels and stay with that. We'll just do this up. Not all the way yet. Just enough to hold it together. Okay, that's ready to go. And the reason for the slipper clutch here is to take some give, to give a little bit under power. These cars originally I think had ball divs, and the ball disc would have slipped a little bit, but on this car I've already looked ahead. We've got oil-filled gear diffs. There's going to be no give in those at all, so it's important we've got somewhere in the drivetrain that will give a little to allow it all to work. Now, just need to push that down a little bit more. Oh, this is not easy to do up. It's a lot easier when it's actually in the car. Here I've just got to try and hold it. That's better. Okay, that's done. It's got an adjustment here, 4.5 to 5 mil sticking out. I've got around about that, so that'll be a good starting point. Okay, bag 1, bag 2, both done. We'll put that down here. Bag 3, I can count. No one's more surprised than me. Oh. Here we go, it's messy time. Oil-filled gear diffs. Got to make sure, put the right oil in. I'm not going to mention names, but in a previous build, someone who works at this shop attempted to put 5,000 weight diff oil in shocks and wondered why it was taking so long to come out. I'm not going to make that mistake again. And I get reminded of that weekly. Oh, got the right oil in that those shocks, TFG? Yeah, that's how it goes. All right, let's get all these little bits out. There's a lot of parts here. I suppose it would have been similar back in the original kit, but different ones for ball discs, because ball discs were the go back then. Everyone had them. All right, now let's find the oil. There it is. Okay, 5,000 diff oil. Let's go. Now, these are identical and these are identical. And this is always a bit of a, it's always hard doing this, getting that little pin in that, oh, it's something that I dread doing. But we'll roll with it. These all appear to be the same. As I said earlier, this is all new to me. I've never built one of these before, so the chances of me getting things wrong are pretty high. So I'm just taking my time. Okay, we've got the shim, and then a tiny O-ring. All right. Okay, that's there. Now, put an O-ring in there. You probably can't see this because it's dark. Oh, there we go. That's a little bit better. Now, what I'm going to do, just push that down, and now I'm going to do entirely the wrong thing and use this to lube it up. Make sure that's covered because this is now the little hole in the diff out drive. It's so far down inside the thing you can't see where the hole is.
You can't find the hole.
Yeah, I can't find the hole.
Oh, is that what
yeah,
you mean?
Yeah.
It's black on black.
It's black on black. That's all right. I know what I'm going to do. What I normally do on kits.
Well, it's perpendicular with the slot.
Yeah, that's what I'm. There's that. What I normally do when I assemble these is put a white mark across there to make it obvious, and I didn't do it on this kit.
Oh, okay.
But you're right. It's perpendicular with the slot, so I'm just going to have to go with that.
All right.
Who are you calling a slot anyway?
Hey,
Hey.
slot machines were fast.
Oh, they work. Trinity slot. Was that Trinity? Yeah.
Yeah.
Righty then. This is never fun, this bit, Beach. Putting these.
Some bits are more fun than others.
Yeah. I find the bits that someone else builds are much more fun.
Fair enough.
Yeah. They're always good. We'll just push this down here. Come on, get down. Now, you'll see slots cut in the side here. They will line up with the hole. So I'll just turn that around so I've got that lined up. Now, I need some little pointy nose pliers. These are not little. These are huge. They might work, or they might not. Let's just see. They did work. Despite their hugeness, that sits nicely in there. Now we just need to center that pin. That's good. Time to put some gears in. These are quite nicely molded, and they've already all been separated from the original parts tree, so we don't have to trim and file and do all those things. Let's get that in there. Now, I'm trying to, that's not quite seated. We need to, this is where you need to make sure that the pin is not 100% centered, and there's not a lot of tolerance here. The margin for error is small, and unless the pin is dead in the center, you can't get the bevel gear in. Okay, that looks right. It was right, and then my finger stuck to the bevel gear and pulled it back out. Some people dickheads. Okay, we'll assemble the cross pin, put the spider gears on. They're in. Now, there's flats machined on these spider gear cross shafts. I've got one in, and I've got the flat upright. Now I need to put this one in, and then the flat needs to be pointing downwards so that they mesh properly. I'll use the world's most enormous pointy nose pliers, and luckily enough I think I've got that dead on. Yep, I'm going to celebrate that. It's a small win, but it's a win. Yeah, just a quick turn around to make sure that they're right, and that is good. We get to go on to the next page now. carefully put that aside. And grab one on the other side. Whoa. These bearings go on after, I can put them on afterwards. It's shown here as going on now, but they can go on after. Now we have this is shim, the tiny O-ring, and I'm going to just put a little bit of goop on this just to help things. And again, a little bit more. Be careful seating this. You don't want to cut it up too much. I mean, I probably shouldn't be doing it with this, but I've done it thousands of times. It seems to work. Alright, that's all good. Turn this around. Again, the world's biggest needle nose pliers. And that's gone in. I must say, in terms of oil-filled gear discs, this one's gone together very, very well. I'm a big fan of that. That's good. Now, this gets a bevel gear on top of it. It was centered, so that's good. And now, oh no!
I'm back.
Look,
I'm bad.
I'm beveling gears.
You're beveling gears.
I am.
Are you in bag 3 now?
I'm in a bag 3.
You're in.
I had a look at bag 1 and 2 and I just went, yeah. Ooh.
Scoff at you.
That's
The scoffy.
That's turned around a little bit. I've just, oh no, it's all right.
Do you know what I like to do?
I know what you like to do, but is
I
that
stick my finger in here and just give it a little look. See, did you see it clip there?
Yeah.
And you can just get the mesh set.
Is it wrong that I'm aroused by you doing that? It's not unusual.
It's not unusual to be aroused by me.
No, it's not unusual
That
to
one
be.
doesn't look right.
Well, it's actually sitting pretty right.
And then you know these paper gaskets.
Oh yeah.
Hey,
I hate them. That's why I've got blue goo there. Oh,
look at that.
look at
I
that.
have to make a real mess. I get my fingers in.
Yeah.
We've actually got a little tool called a gizmo for just such an application, so you're not putting sharp tools near your paper gaskets.
Yep.
That does 2 things. Creates a really good seal.
Mm.
And that's right.
That sort of seal.
And holds it in place.
Look at that.
Because it creates like a bit of stiction.
And the important thing is I don't have to get my hands covered in shit now because you've done it.
Oh, I know. Look at this. I'm coming in and I'm wrecking it.
You reckon? And look at what was previously a really nice paper gasket is now turned into a mess. But that'll do. I've been using that for everything.
Have you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Poking, jabbing.
Yeah.
So it's going to create a better seal and it's going to make it serviceable. So it's not going to...
It's going to make it serviceable.
It's going to make it more serviceable. So when you rebuild it, it's not going to melt to the gear case and peel away and go all crusty.
Look at that.
Do you know what I mean?
Crusty?
Crusty.
Mr. Crowley.
The clown.
Look at that.
Have you done this one too?
No, not yet. But I have mentioned the 5,000 weight oil.
You had mentioned it.
I had mentioned it because I thought I'd get in before you did.
Well, you know that's my favourite talking point, don't you?
I know. It just shows what a sad life you lead. That's the most...
That's the only thing that I can add to this build.
I know. That's all right. I'm going to put some of this in here now because it'll take an hour and a half to get it out.
Will it?
Oh, maybe not. Oh, no, that's coming out quite nicely. Look at that. Now, there's no indication given by Yokomo about how much oil to put in here.
Usually to the cross pins is usually a good rule of thumb, isn't it?
Yeah. That's what I'm going to do. Let it settle a bit. It's actually...
Let it settle a bit.
Then a little bit more.
I'm just wondering if you put the bearing on.
No, I haven't put it on yet.
Okay.
When
you do a HR1, the outdrive's bigger than the the little diff
Yeah,
boss.
I-
So
yeah.
if you haven't put the
bearing on, you're
by
in
then,
trouble. No.
You're in trouble.
I
Put your whole deal
I
on
checked
diff
that and I
apart.
went, yeah, I can put them on
You've
later.
got to pull your whole diff apart and swear the whole way.
Yeah. So,
Do these big washers go behind here?
yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. Let's face it, there's nothing here that isn't, that's new.
Wow. What's old is new?
Yeah.
It's actually quite tight in the boss, isn't it?
It's
Are
very
you,
much.
are you using these?
Yeah, and I've managed to get them in somehow. I'm
And
happy.
you haven't flung them across the studio?
No, because they've worked all right. Well, that fits nice. Oh, yes. Oh, that's beautiful. I'm unfeasibly aroused by that. That one's good.
What did you say?
Unfeasibly aroused.
Unfeasibly aroused.
Yeah,
Fix that up, mate. You might have had bad audio for a little bit.
yeah, but that keeps turning. There's not a lot I can
Does
do. Yeah,
You'll have to
yeah.
keep an eye on that. I don't want muffled audio.
I'm thinking of just stapling it to my chest. BJ suggested,
We'll get it tattooed on.
yeah, attaching it to my chest hairs.
So there's two O-rings.
It's not Velcro.
Yeah,
I've got O-rings.
there's a little tiny O-ring on the outside.
Okay, and there's a washer behind that.
Is this not the same as the 870?
It is, but it's been a long time since I've built it.
Ah, okay.
So I'm just reapplying. Look at that. So it's double sealed.
Yeah.
A little bit of rubber grease on there.
Yep.
That is a nice sealed diff, isn't it?
I reckon that'll hang together quite nicely.
Well, over on my one, I actually pop it down like this. Oh,
Oh,
look at that. You press it down so it's seated, and then the pin should hopefully just fall in or fall out on the
yeah.
floor.
Or you can use the world's biggest pliers to put it in.
One of the two.
Yeah. Yeah. I noticed you did that side, not this one, which is the hard one.
Is it?
Yeah, well, because you can't see inside there. It's the black hole of diff.
Black hole of diff.
Yeah. So,
So do you want me to do this one too?
oh, feel free.
Well, you can put the gasket in that one. I'll put the big O-ring in. I'm not forgetting this time. Big O-ring in situ. I've put my elbow in something I probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Classic, Brett.
I'm more watching for the hobby knife that's down there that you're going to cut
it?
yourself. Yeah.
Well, I don't think you've actually built an RC car unless you're bleeding at some point.
And now I've got my hands covered in crap.
Well,
But
it's not donuts.
yeah, donuts.
Did you tell the punter that this is one of the lucky 1 in 1,000 kits?
I did not mention that.
They'll have to watch the unboxing, won't they?
They'll have to watch the unboxing and see that we were lucky we got the golden ticket.
Which may or may not be true and reliable.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't want to start something.
Yeah, portions of this show have been made up. Large portions of it, actually.
Yeah, but for entertainment purposes, right? Don't
Yeah.
let the truth get in the way of a good story.
No. This is all about providing people to go, oh, God, wish they'd shut up and just build the damn car.
Well, the tricky bit is to do it on camera
Yeah.
and be entertaining
Yeah, and
and achieve a build.
yeah. And when I haven't built one of these before, I'm making mistakes as I go along, but that's all right.
I've built one and I
You still can't remember. That's a bastard, isn't it? Because it's so black inside there.
and then you got to get a little pin central.
Yeah, because if you don't,
so.
the bevel gear doesn't sit properly. I had about 4 attempts to get that.
And I like to, I don't know how you do it, I like to layer upon layer.
Do you? Oh no, I just.
So I'll put a little bit here.
It's like a Sarah Lee cake.
Sarah, don't call me Sarah Lee.
Seriously.
Surely.
Yes. Don't call me Shirley.
So put
Is that one of the finest films of all time?
how
The
you
late
won't-
Leslie Nielsen.
How you weren't cast for it is beyond me.
Oh.
And then I like to put it down the cross pin holes. I don't know if you can see this on
Oh,
camera.
geez, you've got your own techniques here. I just lob it in. Usually because I'm so desperate to get this bit finished.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm not a big fan of these. I like,
What, diffs?
but I'm a huge fan of building ball diffs. I like building ball diffs.
Do you?
Yeah,
What do you like most about ball diffs?
balls. Yeah. I don't know. I just like
Kill the conversation.
I just like it just getting. You do it and go, oh, that feels really smooth. Unless you get it wrong.
We've got the pinhole, right?
Yeah.
Straight in.
Yep.
No, we're missing. Oh no, there we go.
There you go. That's fine. Now
Yeah.
you
And
got
then I put a little
you got
crust
you
on
got
the
you got
flat.
the flat on the cross sticking upwards.
Then I'll put a little bit more.
A little bit more is always good.
Well, I mean, with this it's not too bad, but when you do like a TCR diff or something where you're using 1 million or
Yeah.
2 million,
Yeah, you have to
oil,
you have to set up a
like-
machine to suspend the thing above it.
it's like you have to cut it off with the hobby knife
Yeah.
and pack it in,
Yeah,
like shugu.
yeah. So the way I get around that is my TCR cars have 100,000 weight. That's it.
That's your tuning options.
I just leave it like that.
Really?
Yep, I don't play with it. That could be why I'm shit. Well, one of the many reasons why I'm shit.
I didn't want to say anything, but
No. Oh, me and Tim both do that.
really?
Yeah, we experimented with all that, and we found the super heavy front just compromised too many other things.
Makes it a bit aggressive, doesn't it?
So
It makes it a bit wild.
Yeah, so we don't like that.
Supple.
I like my cars easy to drive because
Supple.
I'm not competent anymore.
Competent or confident?
A little from column A, a little from column B. So look at that.
Look at that. I've made it look really hard,
Yeah,
haven't I?
but the important thing is you do it differently to me, and it goes to show there is no one right way.
We could have just shown a couple of wrong ways.
Yeah, we need to do that with a build. Deliberately build it wrong,
And then you locate the gear.
and then there's all the people going, "What the hell were you guys doing? Everything's locked up."
Yeah, well,
Well, sometimes to do the right thing by you, we have to do it wrong. Wish
are
we,
you happy with that?
yeah, wish we still had that donut here.
Well, I ate it, didn't I?
Yeah, and I ate the pineapple one. Have you had a donut yet, BJ?
Not yet.
Look at
He's
that.
on donut rations.
What? No more than 4 a day.
Yeah. He's been misbehaving at home.
Is that?
Yeah. He's been trying to bring home buckets of chicken.
Oh yes. Oh, the KFC bucket. That's
That's a sticking point in the Louis
in
household.
the Louis household.
I'm traumatized.
Are you?
Yeah, it's as far as where he's posting videos on social media of cats in buckets.
Yeah, that was funny. It did amuse me. And my wife said, "Why is BJ posting this?" I said, "You don't need to know."
How nice are these 9 steps hex drivers?
They're a
Have you spoken about that?
fine thing. No, I have not. I have mentioned the words 9 steps a couple of times, but
They're a really fine hex driver.
and then not $1 billion to buy.
No, but they
Unlike
feel like it.
yeah, they work really good.
And the knurling, if I can say that,
Oh.
the knurling is nice.
I'm a big fan of knurling.
On my smooth, supple hands, I only use lanolin.
Do you?
Yeah.
I use Castrol GTX.
Do you?
Yeah,
Castrol.
yeah, but not the magnetic one because that'd be
The
weird.
magnetic one.
That'd be
Too
really,
far?
really weird.
Now, I'm just doing these up very carefully.
Yeah,
And I did check the mesh. I'm just going to check the mesh again.
Yeah,
before
'cause
I
it-
apply any torque to these bolts. Because if you've got a
because if you
gear
wang
out,
on them too much, yeah, that looks good.
it's only a 2mm thread.
Yep.
And all you want to do is seal it. But
Yep.
if you don't have the gear mesh right,
Right, it'll
it's going to be
crunch-
sitting funny.
it'll
and
crunch
you'll
it.
be doing it up crooked. So you just want to work your way around.
I'm certainly confident with this one. It feels all right now. I remember when I did my SO, I got it wrong, and we had to cut that whole section out of the video. You never got to see it.
Did we?
Yeah, yeah. I made sure it got cut out, and you only saw the one where it was right. See, that's the magic of editing. Anything that I do wrong, we can cut out.
We don't see.
No.
They call it donut eating.
Yeah. I've already had a donut today. That means I can't have any sugar for the next 4 months.
We've got to keep going for another couple of hours yet. Look at that.
That one
And
good?
front and rear differentials on this car are exactly the same.
Yes.
So, and it's a really good tuning option because I know in 8 scale we definitely use a lighter rear diff than a front diff. However, I'm not sure how many of these are actually really seriously going to be set up as a serious competition car.
No. I think these will be put all around in the Jurassic class at Vintage Bash.
Slapping their chassis with
Yeah.
the 2-inch wheels,
Oh.
17mm ride height.
Yeah. And just not handling. I
They
think.
actually handle that, they circulate. I won't say they handle.
Well,
they
you've
circulate.
driven your Super Doggy,
Yeah, and
yeah, and your initial impression was less than glowing.
Well, that's coming from a racer's point of view.
Yeah, but remember, we used to race these, and we thought they were good. Well, I didn't. BJ did. He said before that he was a Super
You know what
Doggy
would be
man.
good to get your hands on this day and age, the Predator, and see how crap they are. No? If
Oh,
this
yeah.
is crap, imagine how crap that would drive.
Oh, it was, well, certainly I had the first one in Australia and it was just awful.
Did you ever drive it? You gave
I
it to somebody else.
drove it, no, I drove it at Wodonga at an Orca round.
Was that you?
Yes.
And you had something bespoke painted on it.
Oh yeah, I had a super cool paint job on it. I went all
Did you run
out.
it in four-wheel stock?
I would.
Or four-wheel 540?
I think it would have been stock. I can't remember, but it was. I mean, there was
Had one
some.
at the same event, right?
No, Lewis didn't get his until a little bit later. Mine was the first, and it was just an awful car.
Because I remember Lewis having one at Wodonga as well. Must have been a year later at another Orca round or something.
Yeah, it might have been a great car in English conditions on the grass tracks, but on our bumpy tracks, it just did not work.
All hold together.
And the drivetrain was, you had to shim the diffs.
After every, yeah.
And as soon as the thing wore, you had to redo it. And
if you didn't, went crunchy.
yeah, and mine was always crunchy. I only ever ran it that one time. I never ran it again. I think I sold it. I could not wait to get
And that
rid
was
of
a
it.
D&T build, right?
Yeah, I got one of the very first.
For those who don't know what that abbreviation is, it's Dirt and Track.
Dirt and Track magazine. It was on the front cover. And on page 3 there was, I'm not going to say it was on page 3, but we all know what happens on page 3s. But the Predator.
From the English girls.
Now there's.
Is that
yeah.
page 3 girls?
Yes. Now I know that there'll be people going, oh, the Predator was a fine car. No, it
One piece
wasn't.
of engineering, but it was a crap car.
It was an amazing piece of engineering, but it just sometimes.
That said, I'm looking forward to the Agama.
Oh no, the Yagana will be fine. If it's not, you'll be the first to hear. That's what happened. The Yagama N110. That's similar to the Predator in suspension terms. It's got lay down shocks front and rear. We've got one coming. Hopefully it'll be the very first here, and we will build that probably on the day it comes. If it's a day that I'm not
Might
on,
even be a midnight build.
if it's a day that I'm not rostered on, I'll come in anyway. Look at that.
Look at that. Is it a thing?
That's a thing.
It's a fine thing.
It's a magnificent thing. It doesn't fit, but it's a magnificent thing. Look at that. That's good. I'm going to say, I'm going to call that.
You're going to call
I'm going to call that here.
So you've done about 3 bags.
I've done 3 bags full.
Realistically, it's probably half the build. The next longest thing is probably going to be the shocks.
Yeah.
But the rest of it falls together.
Yeah, well, the shocks I'll probably take home and do them at home, and then just do one on camera, as we usually do.
That's fantastic.
And instead of using the blue goose, I'll use Vegemite. Because at least it gives me a snack at a race meeting. Do you think that'll work?
That'll work.
YZ-10 associated, really it's a Yokomo Super Dog Fighter YZ-870C. Part 1 of the build. I reckon I'll get this one done in 3 overall, I think.
You're Tony Gray.
You're Brett.
I'm Brett from Hearns.
He's BJ.
And thanks for watching part 1 of the YZ-10 build.